right, welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, we'll be discussing elections this morning and a lot more. Nicholas Felix, Deputy National Youth Coordinator for the PCC of APC, as well as Kachon Onuju, Special Advisor to Peter Obi on Public Affairs at Labour Party. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for coming on today on the program. Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Let's even start off with, yes, we know that there's a Chatham House conversation, but this comment coming through from the president where he says 2023 will be difficult to rig, as is being quoted in several papers this morning. Doesn't that give hope to several political parties, if not all, the electorate as well, saying, oh, okay, in addition to the introduction of BVAS and the scenarios, the electoral acts, as it were, these elections might just be one of the most transparent elections that they may be, going by the president's comments, as it were.
It takes from the action of the Senate 7 years ago. They wrote the amendment to the Electoral Act. That's why I said the last time I was here with you that the Electoral Act, in comparison, is comparable to the Civil Rights Act of the United States. Why do I say so? It is going to be the first time in Nigeria's history, in the past 20 years, that we will actually be casting votes that count. Previously, elections have been written. Because why? In the amendment, there is a demand for biometric authentication of would-be voters before they can vote. That means there will be a digital signature through the biometric capture by the BVAS architecture for every single vote you cast. Secondly, it also says that everybody who comes there to vote must have his name listed, not using the incident form before. If you see maybe 20 people, then you write you have 270,000 people. That was how Borno returned more votes than Lagos on a day. There were bombings all over Maiduguri. Thirdly, and most importantly, it allows us the use of technology currently available to be able to post results from where the results are generated, which is the polling booth, direct to a collection server. And why you're hearing this from the president now is because when the legislation was signed by the president, a lot of people, even the senators, didn't know, to the extent that Ahmed Lawal, the Senate president today, is not returning to the Senate because he did not know that that law says he cannot purchase two forms for two different elections in one election cycle.
Well, I don't know what he knows or didn't know, but the thing is, can we take for granted that as things stand today,
yes,
the Labour Party is satisfied and happy with the processes and what has been deployed to the extent that the outcome of the elections will be accepted by them?
I am very happy with what it is. You asked me a question last week. I didn't reply you that question. But I'm happy that Buhari has now said why I am very confident. The reason you see us all on the surge for P2OB is because we believe that with the new demands by the Electoral Act, that once you vote for P2OB, it will be reflected in the server. So the issue of having the collection center where the magics are done, numbers are changed, cancelled, it's very welcome by the Labour Party. And we're very happy for the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act is a magic wand.
All right. Mr. Felix, what do you think of this?
It's amazing you had to pull that out of him. The first thing I was expecting for him is to at least give the president a compliment. For the president to repeatedly state that this election will not be rigged. The president has assured Nigerians that the election is going to be free and fair.
Why compliment him? That's supposed to be his job.
Yeah, but I mean, that's supposed to be his job. But anytime he does something that's not too pleasant to Nigeria, we condemn him. I'm not here to defend him, but this man has repeatedly stated that this election can be rigged. In other words, APC, go and do your job. And that's what we've been doing. Let's give him compliment. Let's give him the credit that he's assuring Nigeria that this election will be free and fair. No need to jump around the bush and, give a long story. Let's go out there, every party do your job, and Nigerians are going to vote and it's going to count.
So what is this narrative where your presidential candidate did say that INEC had not given them sufficient, hadn't convinced them about the deployments and efficacy or functionality of BVAS, as it were?
I think this is the first time it's going to be used. So it has not been tested. So I think everybody is expectant that this is going to be productive and it's going to be effective. Not necessarily anybody, APC is against it. APC is not against it. We're just saying it has not been proven. Let's see how this election goes. And you know,
it's not the first time it's going to be used. I mean, there have been off-cycle elections where it has been tested.
Yeah, but this...
Anambra, it was used there. In Osun, it was used. In Ekiti, it was used. So there have been no complaints, any particular complaints from any of the political parties. It would seem that so far, the results that we have seen from the elections in those off-cycle seasons have been reflective of what the electorate wanted. We've not, okay, well, I think in Osun we've seen the APC say they're going to go to court. But apart from that, it would seem that largely the results have been accepted, even by the public. Yeah. So in that instance, can we really say that we do not know what to expect or that we have not seen it in use? Yeah,
this is the first general election is going to be used. Mm-hmm. State election and presidential election, they are quite different. So I don't think APC has any issue against it. We are hopeful that this will be effective. That's just it. There's nothing to... we are not against it.
So APC as a party might not be, but we keep hearing key members. Mm-hmm. The chairman, the presidential candidate. And then when you also look at the voting pattern for the Electoral Act, you know, there have been questions raised about, you know, how some members rejected. So there have still been questions as to whether or not the APC, I mean, if you look at the members, if you say that the members constitute the party, and you look at some of these key members, there are questions as to whether or not the APC, you know, is really on board with this new device called the BVAS, or the new methods that the INEC is putting in place.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone, you know, say that. If you are referring to the statement he made in Chatham House, I think he was comparing it to the diaspora vote, not necessarily saying this is not going to work. He was literally saying, let's try this first at the federal level in the general election before we add something to it. So if that's what you're referring to, he's not against this. INEC has put it into law, this is going to work, and let's hope that it's effective and there are no issues that will cause a rerun in the election. That's just what we're saying. We're not against it, but I haven't heard anyone complain, maybe in private about it, or we're scared about, you know, the election. No. If there's anything I know that even me, I'm even saying they shouldn't, everyone is overconfident that we're winning this election. And I'm even telling them, you guys are too comfortable. You're too confident in this election. Not the other way around, that what we hear that APC is scared. APC is too confident. What I see in them in the office is, you're too comfortable, you're too confident that you're winning this election. Let's go out to work. Not that we're scared that the election is not going to be effective.
Did the reaction from Nigerians puncture the confidence, reaction to the your candidate's presentation at Chatham House?
Oh, no. I was, if you want me to dive into this, I was literally watching that. I was very excited when I saw him do that. I mean, I'm speaking from...
Which one exactly?
When he asked, first of all, the speech was great.
From the prompter?
Yes, of course. This is the new age. When I did my declaration in Lagos, I used a teleprompt. And I would be surprised if, you know, in this new age, we don't use that all the time. As
did you ask people to answer your questions for you?
No, okay. What Asiwaju did is my style of leadership.
Which one exactly?
By delegating what we saw played. And the reason why I like it is the fact that someone once told me that before I supported him, I spoke with a lot of people. They explained exactly what I saw played out in Chatham House. And number two, he just told us, this is what I'm going to do as president. That was, to me, that was a perfect role play. He's telling us, I'm going to have a great team. When I become president, I'm not just going to be the one running everything. My team, we are going to work together as a team. You and I know there's no one person who will tell me you're an expert in economics, you're an expert in security, you're an expert in all of that. No. What makes a great president is having great minds around you who is going to help you drive your vision. So what I saw played out, not because he can answer the question, he did answer many of the questions, but he first of all said, let me delegate to let you know, to display to the world that We have smart people in Nigeria. We have great minds in Nigeria. That's what he did there. I don't see anything wrong with it. I was excited. I was shocked to hear all the people coming out, you know, complaining. I was amazed hearing those things.
We don't know what Dr. Cash thinks about this. Let's find out from him. So he says that's his style.
I will tell you, Nigeria is not a confederacy. We do not run collegiate presidencies. We run executive presidents, one man. Before they traveled, the APC said that they will not come for the town hall meeting because they think that their presidential candidate is more than every other Nigerian. They can't talk to us.
Did they say that?
Yes, they wrote that paper that they will send one of their spokesperson to come and debate with my principal. So once such disparaging language came, I started investigating. Why is Mr. Tinubu running away from having direct interrogatory debate? And that was when people called me and said, look, that he doesn't have control. As he sits, he passes urine. He stands, his hand shakes. He stays, and he could just pass anything. It means he has a mental issue.
Isn't that hearsay?
Listen, please. We have seen like blah, blah, blue, 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 babu, babu, boo, boo. Those things are not things he does intentionally. That's when the brain stops reconnecting with the mind. And that we see is a mental problem. That's why he cannot answer questions on his own.
Well, I'm not a medical doctor.
No. I am of a major party, and I'm telling you now, I speak on behalf of those we represent. We believe Mr. Tinubu's mental challenges are the reasons why he cannot talk in public.
But
into an interrogatory question.
You just said Dr. Nicholas talk about his presentation.
Yes.
He read from the prompt.
He has nothing against it. Why? He's a party man. He cannot criticize
when you say,
me as a Nigerian. I'm telling you the reasons why he does blah, blah, blue, 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 baba, baba, doo-doo is because of a mental problem.
The last time I checked, I'm also a Nigerian. So when you say you are a Nigerian, I will not come on national TV to come and defend nonsense. I'll tell you that. If this was not right, I will not be sitting here telling you. This is a wonderful style of leadership. This is democracy. As a pastor in those days, when we have meetings, even before I founded the ministry, sometimes our leaders will give us instruction we are not supposed to debate. They will always refer to us that this is not democracy. In other words, I'm the general overseer, I have spoken, no debate. Now we're dealing with democracy. You are telling us, why did this candidate allow his team to answer simple questions? Most of the questions, they also, gave input to it. This is a wonderful style of leadership. For me, as an individual who has been an advocate of the youth, I believe if I was on that stage, he would have called me to answer for the youth. And that would have been a great one. I would have been expecting a phone call from you to like, hey, what you have been fighting for is actually playing out. So I was excited to see that play. It tells me this is not going to be an authoritarian leader, a leader that will just tell us, do this. We have no say in his administration. It tells us this is somebody that is going to have a team play. I won't call it worry, my only wish and prayer is for Tinubu to have great minds around him. If Tinubu successfully gets 70 to 80% of great people who wish Nigeria well, who want what he wants for the nation, I could tell you he's going to be one of the best presidents we've seen in modern time, because that is a wonderful style of leadership. Get great minds, people who are experts in different fields to be on the table to help you drive the vision. That's what we need now. We don't need somebody who thinks he knows all and know everything about economics and know everything about medicine and know everything about security. You don't know it all. What makes great president? I've seen this played out in the Western world. Joe Biden does not write all his speech. There are great minds. Even when it comes to the Constitution, they have what they call constitutional lawyers. Okay. They just sit with the president to analyze Constitution. So you need great people around you. And when you give them opportunity to display their capacity, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes. We insist Tinubu's health problem is the reason he's unfit for the presidency. And he tries to run away from that health problem being displayed publicly by delegating other people to answer. This is a democracy.
For 20
it has never happened before in a democracy across the world, where when the man vying for the executive position is being interrogated, El-Rufai didn't accept teachers who were pose questions, bringing other people to answer those questions for them. Erufai, if he could fire those teachers, why would he think he can answer questions?
Let me bring in my colleague in Lagos. He's got questions for both.
Yes,
don't
please.
worry, you go. Kaide, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. I'd like us to stick to facts, gentlemen, and I'll begin with Mr. Ononuju. I know this has been on for quite some time. I don't know if it will ever end, but let's stick to the facts. You allege that he has medical problems. Last I checked, you're an economist, public affairs analyst. So tell us, do you have anything to that effect? A verifiable document that speaks to what you allege, or maybe something you have seen? Let Nigerians know so we can stick to the fact and leave postulations where they ought to be.
Yes. One fact, at the handing over of flag during the primary, Mr. Tinubu could not form a fist. He couldn't form a fist. That was publicly caught on television. Another fact, when he was speaking, you heard him say blah blah blue, blue blue baba, baba boo badu budu. Those voodoo incantations were not mistakes. They were consequences of lack of connect between the brain and the rest of the mind. We have all these pictures all over which tells us the man has this kind of challenge. And we are saying due to those challenges that have been physically displayed on television, we believe this man is not fit to hold office. You saw the popular song, hand they shake, leg they shake, Baba we know well, it they say Emiloko. Those
Mr.
things are truths. What I
asked for specifically, facts. I asked for verifiable facts. Not, I mean, someone can look at you and say they think you have this ailment or that ailment. It's left to people to say, but then you need to now present, oh, this is a medical report that I have seen that says that he has this particular ailment. Do you have that? Yes or no?
Yes, I do have it. The compilation
do you have it here?
All those
do you have that medical
public
report here, Mr. Ononuju?
The medical report,
yes.
I am not a medical examiner to issue. I have visual reports that
I asked
tell
if you have
a collection
any
of those
documents to that effect
tells me.
From a certified medical professional laboratory that speaks specifically to what you claim that he has. That's what I'm asking. Do you have it?
Yes, yes. We have demanded that he goes submit himself to a body of physicians. He refuses. He won't even agree to come for town hall meetings. Why will he? He won't even agree to submit himself for medical check. We now are saying these visual optics we've seen are signs of a physical problem, which is as a consequence of the mental disconnect.
Okay, so
and
just to be clear,
this man is not fit for the office.
So just to be clear for our viewers, so that they can know where to place this, you are inferring based on what you have seen, not that you have any documents to that effect. Well,
documents are produced when legal positions force physicians to do an evaluation. But so far, Mr. Tinubu won't submit himself to such evaluation. He would have been asked for before. Even to call him to debate and speak to Nigerians, he will not submit himself to such.
All right.
And
so
that's what we're saying.
A
man who runs away from all this scrutiny.
I just wanted to establish, pardon me, I just wanted to establish if you have a document so Nigerians know how to handle this information which you put out. Well, Mr. Nicholas Felix, it's important for you to also speak to this as well, because this allegation has been on for as long as I can remember. Have you cited, have you inquired? Because you've said out here that you will not defend nonsense. Those were your words. So have you inquired? Have you tried to maybe explore this, saying, okay, people say that it looks like you have medical challenges. Indeed, do you have? Is there anything to that effect? Have you tried to explore this, and what did you find?
We have explored and we have discovered
this
that
is for Mr. Felix, not for you, Mr. Ononuju. Pardon me. I'd like Mr. Nicholas Felix to respond to this now. Thank you.
Exactly. Yes. You see, we have to stick to the fact. We have to stick to the issues. Nigeria wants to hear what these candidates have to offer. The idea of always bringing personal attacks, attacking his health, attacking his person, I think we need to stop that. He talked about, he's not a medical doctor, there is no medical examination that has been carried out. The man you are talking about, the man has never cancelled any rally. This man has been working tirelessly. Sometimes I'm even amazed how he copes, how he's able to do this. This man is go to bed late, wakes up early, his meetings upon meetings. You go to a PCC office, there are tons of people from one meeting to another. He's coming out from the airport, he's walking to his car, people are talking to him, he's responding. He gets into the car, he's responding. He gets to the rally. This man has been effective. The same people they are complaining is not healthy, the same people they are complaining, the man has not cancelled any rally. We left Bayelsa, he's in Chatham House having meetings, he's having other meetings today, he comes back, he's been meetings upon meetings, the man is doing well. He has this right not to subject himself to whatever doctor you want to bring to come and examine. For Christ's sake, we're talking about a presidential candidate. If he has an issue, we would have known. He has not gone on any medical trip to say, I'm not feeling well, I need to go and treat myself. We've been seeing him every day. There's no day Tinubu has not presented himself, either in the office or people having a chance to see him. Everything is fine. Let them stick to the fact. This idea of attacking people, let me say it very clearly. You know, for you to grow old is a blessing. We all pray to get to this age. I'm privileged to have my dad at the age of 83 to come on national TV and always attacking people. I think we need to grow beyond that. We are more civilized than that. Let's stick to the issues. Let's stick to the fact, not just what you see. He went to Chatham House, he stood, he gave speech, he answered questions. From there, he went to another meeting. Come on, what else do you expect?
So last I checked, Mr. Felix, you're in ministry, you're a pastor as well, so not a medical person, just like Mr. Ononuju. And I'd like to know specifically now, have you seen, because both of you seem to be speaking based on what you have seen, what you infer. You say he attends meetings, he does not cancel, and all of that. But have you seen any document, anything verifiable? Because I imagine as someone who will not defend nonsense, you maybe ask for proof that people are saying this. Is there a way to see your medical record or medical record rather? Have you seen that? Have you verified such that you can now tell Nigerians that, well, I have seen it, I have gone to verify, and indeed he is of good and sound health?
If I may even ask, what are we verifying? You're talking about the man's cognitive ability. He can read, he attends speeches, he gives speeches, he answers questions. What even if you call a medical doctor now to come and examine, what are you going to tell the doctor to examine? That's the question. If you go for an eye exam, they will ask you to read from afar. You read different alphabets with different fonts. If you can read and identify, they'll say you can see very clearly. What are you going to examine? The man is fine. The man has been attending rallies, attending meetings. I think it is insulting to say, come and subject yourself to medical examination for what is not there.
Right.
So there's nothing to even ask, oh, people are saying you're not feeling fine. Can I examine what? Examine his brain or examine his head?
So can you tell Nigerians, Mr. Nicholas Felix, can you tell Nigerians this morning that, I mean, you have gone, you have verified, and you can indeed say that he's of sound health. And, you know, when you talked about medical, whether he has gone for medical trip, it was last year he had this knee surgery. So that was one of the medical trips he went for, just as when you said that he has never gone for any. I mean, that's one he went for. So can you tell Nigerians who are listening to you this morning, who are looking to make their decision, that indeed you can verify that he's fine, he's of sound health?
Tinubu is fine. Tinubu is of sound health. There's no day he has refused or was not able to meet with people. Everything is okay with our candidate. There's never a day he canceled any meeting. Everything is fine with our candidate. I think let's focus on the fact.
He canceled town hall meeting.
Okay, if it's not him cancelling, Tinubu is doing extremely well. He attends meetings. As a matter of fact, his schedule, some young people can't even keep up with his level of schedule. I don't think he sleeps up to 8 hours a day. So let's focus on the issues at hand. This issue of a medical report. Every day we see him campaigning. He's in Chatham House. As soon as he arrives, you're going to see him in another meetings. He's been attending meetings upon meetings. So please, let's get back on track and stop this rhetoric we are spilling all over the place.
And we're due for a break. I mean, these are issues you'll have to deal with, your candidate will have to deal with, because the people who will make the decisions naturally would want to know. So we'll go to break now. Lots of stops for us in a moment, so please stay with us. Welcome back to the show. We're still with Mr. Ononuju, who's, part of the PCC of the Labour Party, as well as Mr. Nicholas Felix, also a member of the PCC of the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with us. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Mr. Felix, before we move on from the point. This talk about the use of the BVAS and all of that. Just to put it on record, what more assurance, if there could be, what more assurance does your party need to show that indeed the BVAS would at least work fine and will do very well for this election? Because the national chairman of your party raised it. Now your presidential candidate has raised it. So the question is, what kind of assurance do you need more? Because INEC chairman has said it time and again, in fact, countless times, that indeed this is the way to go and the provisions will work. So what more assurance do you need?
APC is not scared of the BVAS. The question a lady asked was including the diaspora voters. So what our candidate was saying is, we have this new BVAS that has not been tested yet. We have not used it yet. Before we add something else to it, why don't we use this and then move to the next one, which is the diaspora voters, as the case may be. So that's why he referred to that, not necessarily that APC is scared of BVAS.
Pardon me, Mr. Felix. This is not about APC being scared. I know you have given that background as to what question he was asked, but these were his words. He said that INEC is yet to assure us during this election that electronic transmission, the technology being used for accreditation, and the total vote count is reliable, dependable, and assuring in our democratic process. And I want to talk about, before we move on to the question which the lady asked. So he was particular about that. So simply the question is, what more assurance do you think INEC can give, or at least those in authority can give, that will give your party that confidence it needs for the BVAS and other technology being deployed? What more?
We are saying what he was referring to is we have to use it first. Like I said, APC is not scared of it. We just have to see it being used before you can 100% categorically say this is a 100% guarantee. That's all we are saying. It's going to be used, but we are saying we just want to see it being used. That's all, nothing else.
Okay, so you're saying that you're confident in those, technological innovations for the elections. Is that what you're saying? You're confident in it and you want it to be used?
We're confident and we're hopeful that it will be very effective. That's all.
Right. Mr. Nanuju, I know that your party is quite confident with technological deployment and all of that, but I'd like you to speak to the momentum as we build up to this election, because some have said that this is a long haul. Imagine we still have weeks, months, just about 3 months to the election. And there are those who think that maybe that energy, that momentum that the Labour Party had in the early parts of the campaigning, maybe it is waning and looks like the other parties might be picking up. So I'd like you to speak to that momentum, that energy, which some have said, the Labour Party is like a moving train. Do you still possess the momentum you had in the early parts of this campaign today?
Yes. I thank you very much for this question. That is the strongest arsenal we have in our war chest. The momentum from the youth, the trust of the people in the honesty and sincerity of purpose of our presidential candidate. And that's the strategy we did at the beginning. We put him out, knowing very well he has what others do not have. He has the capacity to speak, because in advanced democracies, it is the candidate that talks, not surrogates, to the electorate. And we have been able to emplace our man before the electorate. They have taken him, the youth, who represent 72% of Nigeria's voting population, are with us. And as I'm telling you, we have increased, because right now we have seen not only the youths, but also their mothers. Right now, we are seeing a lot of the fathers of those youths coming to understand that their children were not wrong after all. So that we are very happy about. We do not mind about those who try to demarket us. You can hear talks about the BVAS. They tell us now, where is the Labour Party confidence coming from? They hear, we trust the technology. We trust the cancellation of the incident form. We trust the cancellation of collection center. We trust that votes cast for Peter Obi will quickly be uploaded and transmitted electronically to a holding server. We know very well Nigerians want to take back their country, back from the artists of state capture who think that they can take the country, write results they want. Now they've seen that they cannot write results. That's why you're seeing all this complaint. It's not an issue of BVAS. No, they are only now coming to face with the real consequences of the new Electoral Act. That's why I say the new Electoral Act is comparable in history to the Civil Rights Act in the United States.
Okay, so just
it has given us back our country.
Okay, back to, let me try and, bring Kayode's question into context, which is when he talks about momentum. I guess part of what he might be referring to might be the rallies which your candidate has been attending and which your party has been organizing. For a number of people, they will say that, the momentum and the talk around your candidate, shouldn't it also be reflective in the rallies that we witness at the presidential campaign rallies? Are you impressed by the numbers that you see there?
Oh, yes. The rallies are beautiful. The rallies are normal instrumentations. You pay money. In old political arrangements, bus drivers will use that money to bring people to rallies. That's different. What we chose to do was to embrace an organic form of showing support, and that is the street rallies. And that's what the youth were doing. They were using their money. They were putting it there. I have never seen a campaign like this before. I have been a member of presidential campaign councils in 2007. This is the first time I'm seeing people using their own money to do jingles, using their own money to organize rallies, using their own money. Even their houses were being given houses every time, properties. The kind of things I'm seeing now is frightening. We get so much from the populace. They just can't just look at yesterday. Even the APC governor embraced to show that at the end of the day, the whole Nigerian game is one family. He embraced us yesterday in Owerri. We got to Owerri.
What does that mean?
That means people should learn the kind of politics Governor Uzodinma plays. It's a politics, like Waziri Ibrahim used to say, of no bitterness. And I commend what Governor Uzodinma did yesterday when my principal rounded in. Why did that happen? The Governor Uzodinma saw the momentum with Peter Obi. Peter Obi, the grace is more than him. The truth, what we've seen on the streets, is bigger than Peter.
Does it mean he's supporting your candidate?
No. He supports. He is going for re-election. He supports the society's embrace of Mr. Peter Obi. He doesn't want to be seen as an enemy of society who will go against that which society has embraced.
Well, hold on, that's how you are reading it, because there are questions. I mean, in a situation where there are fears about electoral violence and there have been talks about political intolerance. Some people will say that was a simple notion to show that there should be no intolerance in the elections. I mean, as you said,
we know where the intolerance is. We know where the violence is. They've not stopped.
Just a moment. So at the end of the day, Nigeria should be the focus. And some people will say that's basically what he was trying to demonstrate. You don't see it that way?
That is the right thing. That's how I saw it, and that's why I commend his efforts. And I pray every other person should commend his efforts. The way he gave us his spaces, we had, for the first time, we got Hero Square. We also got the Nwankwo Kanu Stadium. Take what you want, he said. We expect all the governors to embrace it, not be afraid of the organic implosion in country. This organic movement is a Nigerian movement. There is no movement of people from Ghana. Nobody should be afraid of it. We should all tap into it. And the movement seems to have embraced Mr. Peter Obi. That's why I tell you, the momentum we have, no one else has it. Others have momentum that they generate through their own private instrumentations. These are momentums generated by the people on the street. That's why we see it as an organic momentum that we should embrace.
Let Mr. Felix also.
You see, for us as APC, we have been on the defensive side. we've been receiving all the bullets, all the attacks. I'm glad he commended Hope Uzodinma for allowing, even receiving Peter Obi to his state. They went to Edo State. The governor did not allow them. Even the PDP had a rally in the stadium. Lagos State governor allowed them. And you see, we have been on the one.
Well, we're told that the governor actually gave him the vehicles that he used and allowed certain things to happen.
That's exactly what we'll be doing. We'll be very gracious to them, but all we get is attack. All we get is arrow being fired.
I'm talking about Edo State.
No, but he didn't allow them to use this thing. We are not
the governor was very cooperative with us. We were very grateful to the governor.
Which governor?
Edo State governor. He was very nice.
That's not what...
Never mind the pictures you saw.
That's not what we heard.
Intended to tell PDP in Abuja
saying,
we're not with them. But we know Edo is a fully obedient state.
Okay, what I'm saying is, you see, I know he's talking is what I do for a living. And
Nasarawa wasn't very good.
Okay, just hang on.
Talking is what I do for I could talk now till tomorrow, I won't be tired. We're trying to be decent. We're trying to run a very decent campaign. Not that nobody has monopoly of attack. We can attack you like you have never seen. You commit suicide by just we saying words from our mouth. The thing is, we have to play decent politics. We have to do it the right way. We have to be, understand that this is politics. I'm not going to have enemies after election. But for them, it's all about attacks. Somebody gave you a state. Kindly just appreciate him. You went to Lagos State, they gave you the state. You go to other states, they won't allow you. But that's democracy.
Yeah, that's what he's done, and that's what should be done. But that's not what we are saying in a democracy. Exactly. But when you talk about you being on the defensive, some people will say that it is the next elections to be a referendum on how your party has performed.
Exactly.
The APC made some sterling promises in 2015. There have been questions as to how the APC has lived up to the expectations of its own manifesto, what it promised the Nigerian people, the 3 pillars of fighting corruption, of battling insecurity, and of improving the economy. And that the 2023 elections are largely a referendum on the things that you have promised before now. So if you're seeing that a lot of people seem, or maybe the other parties look like they're gaining momentum, there's been a whole movement as a result of the performance of the APC. Aren't there questions as to what you really will be selling to the Nigerian people come 2023?
I don't think they were gaining momentum. They were just busy before we started. Now that we have started our campaign, it looked like they're nowhere. I'm sure that's why Kayode asked the question. When we had no rallies, when we had nothing, it looked as if they were the only people in Nigeria. So that's why you saw those momentum. The question is, where are they now? But election day will determine if those, what we see on the streets will translate to votes. Now, like I've always said...
But you cannot dismiss the rallies that we saw before now. I mean...
I never dismiss them.
Can you dismiss them? Can you dismiss the dissatisfaction we see expressed by young people on social media? You represent that population. I'm sure you must have seen a lot of it, and how, there is still plenty of contention on social media about what the elections will be about. So, for you, when you look at what you witness within your demographic which you represent, vis-a-vis what the expectations are for 2023, how do you think your party will be able to defend itself, because you talk about being on the defensive, within that particular populace?
You see, every time I appear on TV, I've always commended the youth out there that are marching. I've said it times again that every youth out there who is marching for whatever reason, I commend them and I encourage them. And I'm not going to speak against that, because we have a lot of youth in APC also. So the point I'm trying to make is we have been on the defensive side. If you look at this administration, I'm not here to defend the Buhari administration because I wasn't part of it. I think those who are part of it will come and defend it. However, there are great things the Buhari administration has done. Recently, we heard Governor Wike came out and said the 13% fee or whatever that that they are owed, that from 1999 Buhari paid them. If I was President Buhari, or if I had means to tell him, I'll fire everybody that works in his publicity department, because I'm surprised that such huge amount of money was paid to these governors and nobody said it. We are talking in the billions, and Wike came out and said, this is what I've been using to develop my state. He's building flyovers upon flyovers. Every day, he has become Mr. Project, they call him. And yet, the other governors, he ate the money and cleaned them out. One came out and said, oh, the money is so small after the discount. It's the couple of billions will not be affecting the economy. He despised billions of naira. My point is, that is something good. This man paid billions
for what? For the president
this state
doing what he was elected to do.
Okay, why was it not paid from 1999 to now? I mean, let's give him credit.
1999. I mean, that's an exaggeration.
No, that's what they said. No, the point is he paid. I'm just trying to say there are things he has
done. You said they ate the
repeatedly.
money. Do you have evidence that the governors?
And which governor is that?
Ate the money.
Okay, we were not aware that this money was paid. PDP Governor Wike came out and told the entire Nigerians that he got a couple of billions, and that's what he's using. And he told us to go and ask these governors what they did with their money.
I thought that's not part of some of the highlights that Mark mentioned.
No,
what's your party promise?
No, I'm trying to explain that, yes, this administration, in my opinion, has not done well in a lot of areas. I'm saying they have also done well in some areas. I will repeat, Muhammadu Buhari is not on the ballot. Yes, it's APC. It's going to be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the ballot. Just same way, the candidates of the Labour Party in 2019, they don't even get almost 25,000 votes in the general election. And now somebody else has come on board and has brought life to the party. It's the same thing Asiwaju is doing to APC. That's what I'm trying people to understand. This is somebody else now on board. The reason why you're hearing of Labour Party today is because of Peter Obi. I don't know what will become of Labour Party when Peter Obi leaves. So the question is, somebody is joining the party, is bringing life to the party.
Okay, let's go right to it. As we wind down, let's go right to it. He said, look, your party may not just have the lifeblood to continue after now, because, I mean, as a matter of fact, I think I read a comment by the...
What party?
The Labour Party.
The Labour Party is not a party today. Labour Party today is a platform we are using to showcase what he said, once in a lifetime candidate. Peter Obi is right. Is the reason people now have optimism. We are optimistic that
sees you as a political party.
Well, that is the way it is. Today, Labour Party is a platform being used by Nigerians to achieve what they see.
So says APC
and obedience movement is not a political party. It is a movement of consciousness, and that is what we all belong to. No matter your party, no matter your affiliation, no matter your religion, once you're obedient, you are there because of Peter Obi. We believe will bring the changes that we need.
All right.
Not the promise and faith that the APC has been doing.
February 25 will be the big day. We'll see what happens. Only one person will win, and all the others are expected to congratulate whoever breasts the tape first. But Dr. Kachi Onuju, Special Advisor to Peter Obi on Public Affairs at Labour Party. Nicholas Felix is Deputy National Youth Coordinator for the Presidential That's PCC of APC. So a lot of rhymes there. You have to be cautious. Thank you, gentlemen, and all the best to both of you. We will be back in a moment here. Stay with us.